All right, so as Malaysia pushes towards a much greener future, there's this one organization that's kind of quietly building the roadmap for businesses to follow. So today, we're going to deconstruct SustNET and really get into their strategy for a more sustainable tomorrow.
I mean, it's the million-dollar question, right? How can a business do good and also do well? How do you help the planet while also keeping an eye on the bottom line? This is the core challenge that, honestly, companies everywhere are grappling with right now.
And look, this isn't just some trendy buzzword anymore. We're talking about a fundamental shift. It's impacting literally everything, from how our cities are designed to the stuff we buy every day. The sheer scale of this transformation is massive, and you can't just wing it. You need a guide.
Okay, so let's get right to the core of it. Before we even start talking about solutions, we've got to understand the real-world problem. I mean, why is going green so often much, much easier said than done?
Well, for a lot of businesses, especially the small and medium-sized ones, the real backbone of the economy, sustainability can feel less like a noble cause and more like just another expensive headache. I mean, when you're already dealing with super tight margins, the idea of going green can feel like a luxury you just can't afford. And this is exactly the challenge SustNet was created to tackle. Their whole mission is to help businesses reframe that cost and see it for what it can be, a genuine opportunity. So yeah, here they are, the Sustainable Business Network Association Malaysia, or SustNet for short. They got started back in 2016 with a really clear goal: to build a support system, a clear pathway for businesses trying to find their way in this new green landscape. So what's their core mission, really? Well, basically, SustNet is a nonprofit, and what they do is they take these huge global goals, the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, and they translate them into something practical, something achievable for businesses right here in Malaysia. The idea is to help embed these principles right into the DNA of a company. Okay, a mission is great. We love a good mission statement, but how do you actually make it happen on the ground? Well, that's where their core methodology comes in. Let's dive into the how behind the mission. Let me put it this way. If sustainability is like climbing a giant mountain, you wouldn't just start walking uphill and hope for the best, right? You'd need a map. For SustNet, that map is what they call the P5 framework. And this framework forces you to take a full 360-degree view of your impact. See, it's not just about the planet, which is what most people think of. It's also about your product itself, the process you use to make it, the impact on people, your employees, your community, and this is absolutely crucial, the company's long-term prosperity. Because let's be real, a sustainable business has to be, well, financially sustainable. But, a framework is just a tool. It's pretty useless if people don't know how to actually use it. So the big question is, how does SustNet take this 5P model and put it into action in the real world? They basically have this two-part strategy. On one side, it's all about building capability, training and certification. They're creating this network of skilled assessors and coaches, an army of experts, really, who can guide others. Then, on the other side, they recognize excellence through awards. This is all about celebrating success, creating role models, and showing everyone what's possible. And their awards platform is pretty smart, because it works on two different levels. First, you have the MGSA, the Malaysia Global Sustainability Awards. This one is all about recognizing the amazing work happening right here within Malaysia, from youth leaders to new projects. Then they zoom out with APSC, the Asia Pacific Awards. This one showcases the big picture leaders and CEOs making waves across the entire region. It's a great way to connect what's happening locally to the bigger international conversation. And all of this brings us to a really crucial point. An organization like this, it's only as strong as its network. So let's talk about the who. Who's actually in the SustNet ecosystem? The short answer, pretty much everyone. And that's what makes their network so powerful. It's the sheer diversity of it. We're talking schools and universities, NGOs, small businesses, massive public companies, even government agencies. This ability to get all these different groups in the same room, talking to each other, that's their secret sauce. And to make this a bit more concrete, just look at their partnership with Think Plus. Think Plus is their official training partner, the ones responsible for developing that talent pool of sustainability pros we mentioned earlier. It's a perfect example of how this network isn't just a list of names. It's active and functional in the real world. And this quote here from Dr. Daniel C.F. Nang, I think it just gets right to the heart of their why: creating value that lives beyond us. See, this isn't about next quarter's profits or hitting some target for an annual report. It's about building a legacy, a positive impact that's going to outlast any single person or company. So what's the end goal of all this?
What kind of future is all this hard work, the training, the awards, the networking? What is it all actually building towards?
Well, we can already see that future starting to take shape in some of their strategic partnerships. For example, with AGM they're in the smart city space, helping to develop sustainable digital solutions. And then you have partners like Baliola and Omni Integrata, where they're using cutting-edge stuff like blockchain to bring real transparency and trust to sustainability reporting. This is where the ideas become reality, where the rubber meets the road.
And their long-term vision, well, it's nothing short of ambitious. They call it Malaysia's Green Horizon 2065. Now, this isn't your typical 5-year plan, no way. This is a multi-generational commitment to building a truly regenerative future. A future that doesn't just, sustain what we have, but one that actively restores and improves our ecosystems.
Which, leaves us with one final, pretty powerful question to think about. SustNET is building the map, they're training the guides. But the journey itself, that journey to the green horizon, that requires all of us. So the only question left is, what role will you play in making it happen?